Aaron in Phoenix.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so pretty much I'm an atheist. My girlfriend is a Mormon, and we talk about our differences. We get along mostly, but whenever we talk about this, it kind of gets to the point where she knows that she's wrong in a way, but she has to believe because of the whole idea of heaven and all that good stuff. So this isn't exactly a love guru show, but do you believe that it's all right to pursue this kind of like discourse? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, it's not up to us to decide if it's all right. It's your relationship. The thing is, either it's all right between the two of you, or you break up. And there is no way of predicting how how a relationship is going to weather or something like that. If what you're saying is true, and she, deep down recognizes that she hasn't got good reasons for believing things, you can always hold out and hope that eventually this is going to be too much for her and she's going to just give up on the whole thing. But you can't count on that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main things that I'm trying to say with my question, like, if you have members or friends and being religious is a good thing with them, is there any point to pursue it, to tell them about your
You're breaking up really bad there. So can you repeat that?
I mean, if you have family or friends that the religion does something good for them, actually, is there any point to pursue it?
Pursue what?
Pursue a discourse with them on if God is real or not and all that.
As long as you enjoy the discourse and she enjoys the discourse, then sure. I mean,
Okay.
it really comes down to a matter of personal preference.
Well, and I think that ironing out issues about religion are really important before you formalize your relationship with marriage or whatever. And especially if you're later on planning on having kids, you got to have these issues settled before then, or at least have an agreement for how you're going to proceed with this. Because if she's a Mormon, there are lots of implications for a Mormon being involved with a non-Mormon, one of which is you can't get married in the temple. So how does she feel about that? That's a big deal.
And would she expect to raise the kids Mormon?
Yeah.
Obviously, that is a serious issue for both of you.
Yeah, that's huge. So
Yeah, I know.
those are questions. I mean, you have to have this kind of conversation. And whatever comes out of that conversation, it's got to be something you can both live with, or you really don't have much in the way of options.
All right, thank you guys so much. I know this isn't exactly a love call-in show, but I feel this is something that many atheists probably experience.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is. And, we're not saying it can't work, but it's something that you need to be cautious about. And, you need to be aware of the possibility that if there are things that are, I believe, irreconcilable differences is the legal term for why lots and lots of marriages end up in divorce. And it's a good idea to find out early on if they're irreconcilable or not.
Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day.
All right.
Thanks.
See ya.
It's interesting, when I was doing the second parent adoption of my son, one of the requirements for second parent adoption is that you have to have a social worker come in and do a home study. Mm-hmm. And, they don't care about atheism. So I adopted my son as a second parent as an out atheist lesbian, okay, in Texas. It's legal, nothing wrong with it, okay. They didn't care about the lesbian part, they didn't care about the atheist part. But the big thing that they were concerned about was that my partner and I were on the same page when it came to religion. So that they were, they wanted to make sure that we both held, the same views about how we were going to raise our son. Otherwise, that would have been considered a big red flag for the stability of the home. So just a thought there. This is kind of a big deal. And so, people who are focused on child welfare, they pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
So you should too if you're going into a relationship that you expect to be long-term and you're going to bring children into it.
Right. And of course, being on the same page doesn't mean you have the same religion necessarily, but it
exactly.
means that you have some kind of consensus about what you're going to do with the kids.
Yes.